The White House last night.
He said you've reached
the White House.
The
White House last night sat down with us to address the concerns that we're talking about. The White House was very clear about what we're working on together to actually deliver on what the Chairman Harris, just talked about. And we talk about specifics, man. I mean, what we're talking about here, you know the issues, you know the levers, right? We've been very public about this. There's been articles written. Some of you have written some actually reasonably honest articles about the extent to which you're having 7 times more money going to the able-bodied than the vulnerable. We're trying to fix that. We're trying to fix a system that is corrupt, so there's a money laundering machine where dollars go from red states and responsible, hardworking Americans to go to blue states like California to give money to people who are illegal or who are able-bodied. We want to fix that. That's what we're trying to address. And on the goalpost moving, that's utter nonsense. The fact of the matter is, this has massive savings in the out 5 years, and it has massive deficits in the first 5 years, because we're not addressing the structural reforms that we're talking about right here, including very specifically eliminating the 45% of the subsidies under the Green New scam that continue. So that's what we're talking about. We're not moving goalposts. We want to save money. We want to save as much money as we can. But we want to do it the right way to deliver for hardworking Americans who are getting left behind by a government here, Republican and Democrat, who keeps spending money we don't have, racking up massive amounts of debt, driving up inflation so Americans can't afford homes, the Moody's bond rating gets dropped, and people are getting left behind. No more. Now's the time for transformative reform. We're going to work with the White House to deliver it. Thank you.
Into this from earlier on LiveNOW.
Came here yesterday, and he laid out a few things. He said, don't go any further on SALT. He said, oh, by the way, eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid. That's fine. That's what the American people expect. And then he said, by the way, we have to eliminate the Green New scam. So in the last 24 hours, well, there was a little SALT deal made. I don't think it went in the right direction. But the White House offered a proposal late last night that I think fulfills the other 2 parts of what the president talked about. And there's a broad agreement with the House Freedom Caucus that if that's included in the package, I think this package is en route to get passed. I don't think it can be done today. I mean, the runway is short today. The leadership is going to have to figure out, where to go from here. But I think progress is made. I think that there is a pathway forward that we can see. But again, the leadership will have to figure out, what the time frame of this is. As you know, I've come and I've spoken to several of you in the past few days and say, I'm not sure this can be done this week. I'm pretty confident it can be done in 10 days. But that's up to leadership to decide. We just want to emphasize, we want to deliver the president's agenda. The bottom line is, he said, end waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid, which is a hugely popular issue with the American people. And he said, end the Green New scam, which is hugely popular with the American people who are watching their energy bills go up as our deficit goes up, and they wonder how in a world where we have all the energy resources we have, gas, oil, how in the world are our energy bills going up? We're going to try to help solve that for the American family. With that, if any of my colleagues want to make a statement.
So the legislation that we've got right now has made significant progress to advance the president's agenda. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to sit at the table. We're going to work with our colleagues, work with the White House to continue to deliver what the president campaigned on and what we all campaigned on. As my good friend from Maryland just said, the president yesterday laid out some real clear terms. And we're working to achieve those. And we were working last night with the White House to achieve those, and working with our colleagues today to deliver on what the White House put forward as a good faith effort to deliver on those objectives. Look, and just on a personal note, 14 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer. And one of the reasons I ran for Congress was to deal with our very badly broken healthcare system. Today, there are millions of Americans right now who can't get health care because of our broken system. They're on wait lists. The vulnerable Americans are on wait lists because we've got a broken system that rewards the able-bodied over the vulnerable, that gives more money to people on Medicaid than on Medicare. We are trying to fix those things and match those so we have a system that works. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to deliver so that the people who are actually out there working hard can actually get the health care that they want to get, that they can get, and get it the best way possible. That's what this is all about, changing a broken system, making sure we're saving taxpayer dollars, and being able to provide a better environment for people to be able to thrive in their families. So we're going to work with the president today. We're going to work with our colleagues to deliver, but there's a long way to go. And I want to be very clear. We've got to deliver on what we're talking about, or we're not going to be able to get the bill done. And that's what we're trying to achieve.
That's exactly right. The White House reached out to us
look, it's not perfect. No bill ever is. We understand that. We reckon we'd like to have more, but we recognize we've got a big conference in a big country, and that the Democrats aren't going to help us. The Democrats want to see the taxes go up. The Democrats want the status quo in the failed health care system. We accepted the White House's offer last night. Unfortunately, it's not yet codified in this agreement. We need to continue to work at that. We as members are at the table. We don't want the deal to be ended. This is an arbitrary deadline. If today comes and goes, it doesn't mean that this possibility to make sure that taxes stay low and that we fix America's healthcare system and fix America's energy system, it doesn't mean that prospect is off the table. It just means it might not happen today. And it's important that everybody knows that, because there's some kind of belief in Washington, D.C. that once today comes and goes, that this cannot be fixed. This is a completely arbitrary deadline set by people here to force people into a corner to make bad decisions. It's more important to get this right, to get it correct, than to get it fast. And we are sitting at the table to do that.
And for the bill to move off of the floor, these issues have to be addressed. I want to be very clear.
Right.
And that has to be addressed today, tomorrow, whenever we get to it, but it has to be done right, like my friend from Pennsylvania said.
So what was the proposal the White House gave you? If this comes to the floor today, you're going to vote no to move ahead, both on the rule and on the bill. Is that correct? You're going to vote no?
Yeah, well, we're not there yet. The bill's not on the floor.
When you say if this comes to the floor, we have yet not seen the manager's amendments. We don't know what this is yet.
The Speaker wants to pass this tonight.
Well, then we should get busy
we want to
working
pass
to get
it
it done.
too.
We want to get it done too.
But if you're saying it will not pass tonight if it comes to the floor.
It is not ready yet, but we got to see the language.
What are the terms of this agreement with the White House? What are the terms of it?
Well, look, broadly, the president came and said we need to end waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid. And that's what we believe that the agreement, and look, we're not going to get into specifics of it. We think that will help end waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid, and also bend the out of control spending trajectory by eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. Now, I don't think many Americans disagree with that. And the other component is in the setting of rising energy costs. Look, energy costs have gone up 30 to 40%. Where's energy costs supposed to be going down in this country? We have more energy than anybody else in the world. This Green New Scam isn't working. It's making our grids unreliable. We want to make sure that we can deliver affordable energy to all Americans. Those are the two major components, both of which are totally consistent.
And when the president said end the Green New Scam, he didn't mean leave 40 to 45 to 50% of the subsidies ongoing. So we're working to continue to scale that.
What is the easiest thing that the Speaker could give you right now specifically that would get y'all to a yes?
We're not going to negotiate this through you guys. I mean, you guys know the issues. We put them out there, and we're sitting at the table to work through them. But you guys know the issues that we're very concerned about: the abuse, the waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid, the scam that is going on, the money laundering, where we've got 90%.
Y'all agreed to the levels of ENC. The ENC has exceeded those levels in Medicaid. Y'all agreed to those when y'all voted for the budget in February. Why now are y'all moving the goalposts? That y'all agreed to the levels.
No, that's how you want to put it in terms.
I mean, the ENC
is not correct.
ENC met the levels that y'all voted for in February and March.
We're in the process of assembling 11 bills that just last week were finalized, and that our final opportunities to tweak and improve and solidify our intentions that were written into those bills is through the Budget Committee and the Rules Committee, where managers' amendments can be written to tweak, improve, and solidify the intentions and the agenda of the President of the United States and conservatives within the House and the Senate, by the way. So we're in the midst of those final stages, gentlemen, of working through the Rules Committee with managers' amendment, and the details remain unrevealed, but we're at the table working those details.
But you guys are being very general. Can you be specific to tell the public what exactly you're asking for? Are you asking for changes to FMAP? You want more energy? Yeah, but that's very general. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Specifically, what are you asking for?
I don't understand how that.
But I mean, you want FMAP changes? Are you demanding that there be changes to that? Or are you demanding the IRA tax credits all be phased out immediately?
We demand that waste, fraud, and abuse be addressed in Medicaid. It's inadequately addressed in the current bill. And we believe that as much of the Green New Scam should be eliminated as is possible.
But why are y'all doing this now?
Let me address the goalpost nonsense. We are working within the goalposts.
You voted for ENC's levels.
Excuse me, can I answer the question?
Yeah.
Or you just want to filibuster?
You can talk. I'm
He's
just
a
asking.
contrary
you're
fellow, and he's
filibustering.
not accurate. You're not very
we
smart.
We are working.
We're deep in the details.
We're working within the goalposts. We're not saying we need to move the amount of cuts up, because goodness knows we moved the amount of spending yesterday with the SALT agreement. We're saying work within the goalposts, rearrange it within the goalposts, in accordance with what the president wants. End waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid, which is wasting dollars that should be spent on the truly vulnerable, and then end as much of the Green New Scam as possible.
Right. But Mr. Chairman, the president and the speaker say you've gotten what you've asked for. You're saying they're wrong.
The White House last night.
He said you've reached
the White House.
this
The
bill
White
is as good
House
as it's gonna
last
get.
night sat down with us to address the concerns that we're talking about. The White House was very clear about what we're working on together to actually deliver on what the Chairman Harris just talked about. And we're talking about specifics, man. I mean, what we're talking about here, you know the issues, you know the levers, right? We've been very public about this. There's been articles written. Some of you have written some actually reasonably honest articles about the extent to which you're having 7 times more money going to the able-bodied than the vulnerable. We're trying to fix that. We're trying to fix a system that is corrupt, so there's a money laundering machine where dollars go from red states and responsible, hardworking Americans to go to blue states like California to give money to people who are illegal or who are able-bodied. We want to fix that. That's what we're trying to address. And on the goalpost moving, that's utter nonsense. The fact of the matter is, this has massive savings in the out 5 years, and it has massive deficits in the first 5 years, because we're not addressing the structural reforms that we're talking about right here, including very specifically eliminating the 45% of the subsidies under the Green New Scam that continue. So that's what we're talking about. We're not moving goalposts. We want to save money. We want to save as much money as we can. But we want to do it the right way to deliver for hardworking Americans who are getting left behind by government here, Republican and Democrat, who keep spending money we don't have, racking up massive amounts of debt, driving up inflation so Americans can't afford homes, the Moody's bond rating gets dropped, and people are getting left behind. No more. Now's the time for transformative reform. We're going to work with the White House to deliver it.
The CBO said last night that it would increase the deficit.
Did the White House